Hey everyone, I'm Alicia Toot from A Music Vlog, yeah, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our interview with Vance Joy. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Just wanted to say welcome back. It's such a pleasure finally being able to catch up.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back, and yeah, it's been a year since we met and did our first interview, and it's I've been back a bunch of times, and the shows have been getting slightly bigger each time, which is great.
The first time that you came to Toronto, you played a sold-out show at the Drake Underground, and since then you released your debut record. So I just want to say congrats on that, because it's amazing to see how far the music's come and you've come in a year.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride. From releasing an EP into um, touring a lot and then trying to find time within that to record an album. I definitely learnt a lot in the last kind of year, and it feels strangely like a short amount of time, which it is, I suppose, but a lot happens, every day and every week. Within that was a lot of stuff was happening.
Well, just tell us a little bit about Dream Your Life Away. What were some of the highs you had while recording your debut record?
There was definitely some really great special moments. I got to record, so we were recording in Seattle in a place called Woodinville, which is a beautiful kind of setting. The studio is called Bear Creek Studio, and Ryan Hadlock is a producer there, and it's like this beautiful old recording studio. His dad is a producer as well, and so he grew up on this property. It's like kind of like a farm kind of vibe, big kind of barn feeling, and it's really nice, and it's very removed from any kind of busyness. So we were kind of in the wilderness recording, and then we also did about a week in this place called San Pancho in Mexico. It's a beautiful kind of really secluded town, and we did a bunch of string arrangements there and bass and a few backing vocals and stuff because he has a contact there, and it was kind of part holiday, part recording, which was good. And yeah, I mean the best thing about recording is probably the breakthroughs in songs when you record a song and you didn't know that it was going to sound as good as it does, or someone adds something special to the song and you go, oh, that's improved the song so much. So that happened a few times as well.
How did the surroundings of recording in those spots have an influence on the album?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we did it actually. This place in Bear Creek Studio. It was during the recording process. There was this kind of television show approached Ryan, the producer, and said, "We do this thing where we make a television show based around building tree houses on people's houses or on their properties, and we film it and we film the progress of it." And they said, "We want to build a treehouse studio on your property." Yeah, which was cool. And so we knew that was kind of going to happen. And then about 2 weeks into recording, this whole team of people came and in a really quick time erected this beautiful treehouse in the trees around the property. And it was a recording studio, had all the basic kind of equipment. And so we did some stuff in there. We did some backing vocals. We did some new parts of songs and kind of did a lot of kind of spitballing ideas. So I think it's good to be removed from your normal life when you're recording, because you're taken somewhere else and you're not going back into your daily routine. So it's nice to to have everyone kind of sharing these. You're all kind of sharing the songs, and you're kind of going, okay, well, let's all throw our ideas on the table, and we're kind of committed to 2 weeks of each other's company. So it can be trying because you're in someone's face all the time, and they're in your face, and you kind of got to be very respectful of people's ideas, and also just be flexible enough to go, oh, I don't really like your idea yet, but maybe I'll be surprised. So definitely it's good. I found to be outside of the city and outside, especially away from my home of Australia, to be good because I wasn't getting distracted. I wasn't going back home and seeing friends. I didn't have any commitments. I just was committed completely to recording. Yeah, head in the game, yeah.
On support of the record's release, you're of course touring North America. So as far as touring goes, what are some quintessential items you must have with you for being on the road?
Okay, it's a good question. I think lots of pairs of underwear. I'm just trying to think, because you get a chance every couple of weeks to do some washing, but it can get pretty dire, and depending on what your standards are, it depends on how long you can last. But for me, lots of underwear. I think quintessential items. I need a good book always. I download books onto my iPhone so I can be kind of reading when I've got like downtime between things, because there's a lot of waiting around. I found like between shows, there's like sound check, there's the show, then there's like after the show, then there's like you're waiting to do an interview or you're waiting to do whatever it is. So there's all those times you need to learn to be like, okay, I can find some peace of mind and some, I don't know, some enjoyment in those moments. So reading a book is good, and yeah, that's about it really. Yeah, that's all I need.
Well, I saw a photo on your Facebook where you're kind of getting your nerves out and you're about to go on stage, and it's like getting yourself together to play to an audience. So do you have any pre-show rituals with the guys before hitting the stage?
Yeah, we don't have like a really structured ritual, but I'm sure that we probably fall into patterns where when it's a bigger show, like say Montreal yesterday and today in Toronto, we've got 2 shows back to back, and they kind of I feel like the Canada shows are always kind of, we feel more nervous because they're slightly bigger, and also in New York it was a big show, so the bigger the crowd, the bigger the feeling of expectation or pressure, the more kind of you can just sense the energy is kind of higher, like our heart rates are higher, and we're all kind of close knit, and we're all kind of just like touching each other and patting each other, and there's more tactile kind of engaging with each other. And then when it's a show that we're kind of like tired and thing, it's kind of like, it's like, oh, we're going on, it's like we just walk on. Yeah, you just fully walk on, and you don't like, there's none of that kind of camaraderie. So I think that kind of getting around each other and that kind of, I don't know, that energy is good for a good show. Like the nerves kind of make you fully aware, like your awareness, and you feel like this kind of electricity. And you can come off stage and think, oh, did that show suck? Like you don't know, because in your head you're kind of like so aware of everything. But I think that's just because you care more, and your whole body's kind of like raised up a level.
I wanted to bring up how recently Taylor Swift covered Riptide. So when you found out that one of the world's biggest pop stars covered your track, what was your reaction to that initially?
It was a funny moment because I was in Europe and I was doing some promo, and my manager Rachel started playing me this song, and I just heard the audio and I was like, that's really cool. I was like, that's a really nice, I really like this, what is it? And she's like, oh, I'm like, who's covering it? And she had her hand over the screen, and then she pulled it away, and I was like, oh, wow. Taylor Swift was like, no way. Yeah, so I did have a bit of disbelief. Yeah, I think I'm just, it's just such a compliment to, I feel like so complimented by it, I could see that she was enjoying it. She got a lot of joy. She put a lot of heart into it, and yeah, that's cool. I mean, when I sing a cover, I do it with songs that I really enjoy. So I guess I'm flattered that she chose my song and liked it enough to do a rendition. And I really liked the way she did it.
I really enjoyed your cover of Casey and JoJo that you did recently. Yeah, so can fans expect to see any covers on this leg of the tour?
I think I've been doing that. I really want to do a cover of Learning to Fly by Tom Petty, and kind of have this idea for a breakdown in it, but and so we kind of just work those things through in soundcheck. When we have an extra long soundcheck, we'll kind of work on something. And a couple of songs, there's a couple of Australian songs that I want to do. So yeah, I think, I don't know, usually with doing a cover, it's like you hear a song, you go, oh, what's that song? Or you start playing guitar with Casey and JoJo. I started playing the chords. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, is this an original song? And then I was like, no, it's not. You're playing someone else's song. So that's kind of like the way I've always fallen into covers is through that process.
Well, going into this interview, we asked some of our readers and fans of yours if they had questions for you. So I have a couple here that they wanted to ask. One was, if you had the opportunity of having drinks with some of your heroes, who would you want to sit down with and talk to?
I think I'd choose funny people. And someone like Billy Connolly, I really like his comedy. I think Al Pacino seems like a wise kind of dude, and he'd be pretty entertaining, I think. Maybe someone brilliant like a famous, maybe like someone like Stephen Fry seems like a nice dude, and maybe Ernest Hemingway. That could be pretty interesting. Yeah, good group of people. Yeah.
Someone else wanted to ask if you've named any of your instruments.
Have I named them? I haven't. I haven't done much personalising on them. On my main guitar, I've noticed I'm really proud of some of the wearings on it. So on the back of the neck, I've kind of, from my thumb, I've kind of scratched kind of a lot of sort of scratched lines, and just from my thumb kind of rubbing up against it, there's kind of some wear on it. And then there's also in grey lead pencil I drew a Batman symbol So that's kind of like the only identifying marks on it. Yeah, haven't given them names.
No Bruce or anything, just...
Bruce would be nice. That's maybe a good one. I haven't named the uke or the guitar, but I mean, maybe I will at some point. Yeah.
Maybe one day halfway through a set, like, guys, what should I name this? See what they come up with.
Yeah, I could just open up to the crowd. I mean, that's kind of that's pretty crazy to do that, but maybe I would do that. Yeah.
As we were talking about fans, I just wanted us to wrap things up. Is there anything you'd like to say to all your fans who are watching this at home?
Sure. Thank you for all the support and for listening to my music, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. So part of that is because you're buying into what I'm doing. So thank you.
We just want to say huge thanks to you for taking the time to speak with us today. It was such a pleasure finally catching up once again. And thanks to everyone for watching our interview with Vance Joy. Bye, everybody.